Greetings fellow knights, I'm Chevalier and I bid you welcome to the illustration and guide of the Teutons. Last episode we have the illustration of the Teutons, now we'll have the guide and how we should expand. Right now we kind of fucked it up to some degree as well, and I'm also going to show you how the event for the switching of the devotion starts. Though let's actually do this right now. As you can see, the event triggered. You're gonna lose some loyalty. It's pretty standard stuff. You're gonna change. You're gonna lose anything. You're gonna lose your current ruler. And your heir is gonna become the current leader. So let's see. Duke Martin for Stottenberger. So it's good if you actually have a good heir when you do this. It's recommended to have a good heir. Now you're eligible to become the HRE Emperor. A lot more ways are open to you. Though it's gonna take you a while to lower your devotion to 0. Although it fails when you're about 11 or something, lower than 20, 15, lower when it's in the red. The same as the stuff on the republics with the the traditions, basically. Now let's talk about the expansions and how we should probably play this out. At first, you're gonna be in a stalemate. You're gonna have to wait for Austria for you to become the part of the HRE. Then you're gonna have to attack. It's recommended that you rival Denmark and prepare to attack Denmark. One of your rivals is gonna be the rivals that Austria has, so it's gonna be bad. So you're gonna have one slot reserved. The third one should be the Livonian Order. The Livonian Order right now is really weak. They have like 8 troops. I should check. Like they have like about 8 troops. Let's actually get this. We'll get an alliance with them, and we can actually see. They have 8 troops. They usually have an alliance with Riga, and they're gonna have about 14. You can kill them easily, and you're gonna get their lands. Now, this is quite important, simply because you want to make your way into this side here and attack Novgorod, so you can stop the expansion of Muscovy, and you're gonna be the buffer against Muscovy. Now, for your first attack, if you can't attack Denmark by supporting Sweden, you're gonna attack the Livonian Order, and you're gonna take lands for them. You might want to take Riga with no CB. I know it's a little bit annoying, but doing this will, if you want to attack Riga, you want to take the Riga in the war, because if you want to attack Riga, you're gonna have to fight their trade league. See, so it's not gonna be good as well. Now, this is one option of going at the start. The second option is Denmark. Now, going into Denmark should be done by supporting Sweden, or when Sweden is being supported and they trigger their revolt against somebody. Right now, they are revolt. They have the enemies of Burgundy, Novgorod, and me, Teutonic Order. They don't have that many rivals. Now, attacking Denmark should be your priority, and making sure they're weakened to some degree, simply because you don't want them to go on and be really powerful, simply because with Sweden and Norway and integrating both of them is going to be really problematic for you to expand into this area here, which is going to be annoying. So, when you can, support Sweden. If somebody else supports Sweden and you know Sweden can break off from Denmark, do not support them and just go for an attack on Denmark when Sweden is attacking them as well, so they're going to be weakened. Other than this, there's nothing much to say. If you're going to attack Denmark, well, they're in a pew with Sweden and you have some support from allies, or you're going to attack Denmark and Sweden is not going to break free, it's good for you as well. Try to take some lands here and release Finland, basically, so you can actually get the lower amount of aggressive expansion with the releasing of Finland. You can also feed lands from Novgorod to Finland, so it's really good in that perspective. Now, let's do a recap. Your first target most probably is gonna be Livonian Order, followed by Denmark. Now, it's possible for you to expand into the HRE, although I do not recommend it. If you want to expand somewhere, I guess you should probably expand here in Sternberg and Newmark. Although, again, if you plan on becoming the HRE Emperor and integrating the HRE, you're simply gonna waste points. If I say so myself, it's better for you to use your points to get tax or development or whatever. Shouldn't waste any points here. Although, one thing is to be noted, that becoming the HRE Emperorship from in Prussia is gonna kick you out of the HRE if you're not an elector, or if you're not the HRE Emperor, if I'm not mistaken. Though that might kick you as well. I haven't tried it yet. Can I try it? No, I have to be Protestant to form. Yeah, you have to be Protestant to form it. You're gonna have to take some more shit. So, again, whether it's possible or not, try to make sure that you try it out. Save scam, whatever you want. Actually, save scamming is a really important part of learning the game, especially if you're in a new position. Now, as recap, first I get this Livonian Order, followed by Denmark. If you want, you can go into the what's it called, the HRE and take lands from the HRE. If you want to go in the HRE, recommend going for the important centers of trade, basically. So Lübeck, Hamburg, Bremen, what's this, East Frisia as well. So those lands in general that you should take. Now remember that East Frisia is not part of the HRE, so you can probably attack them. Now, let's say that you have taken over the Livonian Order. Your next target is Novgorod, and moving against Novgorod. This can be done with or without an alliance for Muscovy. If you have an alliance with Muscovy, you can control what lands Muscovy gets, and you can give them, for example, some shitty lands over here, right? And nobody will care. So it's good to do this as well. As you can see, the White Sea goes into the North Sea trade, so there's nothing important here, no trade value, no nothing. So you can give them lands in this part here. Well, Novgorod feeds into the Baltic Sea, so it's important for you to have those trade nodes. So you can just give them shitty lands that you do not care about. Now, Muscovy has a rival a vassal in Pskov, so they're probably gonna annex them at some point. Fighting off Muscovy is gonna be tricky, like really tricky. You're gonna have to increase your power to some degree and have a vassal. If they're weakened for some reason, it's gonna be easy, but usually they just burst through everything and kill everybody. I see campaigns when they're fine, I see campaigns when they're great, and sometimes I see campaigns where they're dead. Usually if they cannot advance into Kazan, they usually die. They have to advance to Novgorod. If Novgorod is allied with Denmark or allied with Poland, they're gonna stop them in their tracks. But again, it's a little bit tricky, depends on if on who rebels Muscovy basically as well. So they have only 2 rebels. Again, they're gonna be fine. So at least in this campaign right now. So moving into Novgorod, heading into Muscovy. At this point, you should probably blob out. Move slowly, move with claims. You're gonna have to convert them if you want, although it's better for you not to convert them, so you can actually get lower devotion. Lower devotion is gonna switch you from monastic order to Protestant, from monastic order to monarchy. Although by the point you actually hit what's it called, hit into the orthodoxy here, it's still gonna be fine. Basically, you're gonna probably be a monarch at this point. It's gonna take you. Actually, you're gonna hit Novgorod quite soon, I guess. Depends on how you actually take those lands here. Like if you want to go only for claims, you're gonna go this, but it's not recommended. You're probably gonna have to take Navra from yourself. So again, we're gonna talk about how she progress at the end, if I actually can remember, of course, because I sometimes forget to do stuff. Now, this is gonna take you a while, and moving on to Livonian Order, Novgorod, and Muscovy. It's probably gonna take you 100 years. You're gonna go easily into the mid game by the time you can actually finish off Muscovy. Now, moving here, it's gonna be easy, I would say. So moving to Denmark, take lands from Denmark, then moving to Sweden, release Finland, Finland lands from Novgorod or Sweden, lands from Norway, pretty standard stuff. I recommend taking shitty lands from these guys with basically wasting diplo points. I mean, getting a claim for 3 base tech province, it's really useless. It's really crap, you don't need it. I do not recommend doing it. Now, regarding Norway, it's good that it's better if you take this lands really fast whenever possible to actually get into here, then get into here. The same stuff, is just 3 points. You're gonna waste some depot points, but it doesn't really matter. Development, sorry. You're not gonna waste that much. Now, taking this, and this, so the Scandinavian states, basically. It's better to say like this. It's gonna take a while, but it should be doable. While you're doing this, you shouldn't focus fully on this. That's why I said taking this here. So if you take this lands here, you can move on to Scotland and move on to England. Now, why you should do this? It's simply, England is gonna become a powerhouse. Now, England is gonna ally with Austria most of the time, depending on who the rival, but they should actually ally with Austria at some point, which is gonna make things difficult for France, which means that France might lose and might get wrecked. So you're gonna be an equilibrium between England and France and squashing them up. If you're the HRE Emperor or Austria stop their alliance with England, depending on the situation, it's gonna be good for you. Again, pretty standard stuff here. Just moving to Scotland, get this guys here. Usually these guys are gonna build up their base stack, so be careful of this. I saw once Kildare get like 20 base stacks in my what's it called, the No-Name Irish campaign. Basically Kildare, I left him up until like 15 something, 1500s. He had like 22 base stacks, like double his base stacks. He had like maybe 12 in manpower or something like that. They're like huge amount of manpower. So yeah, they're gonna build up their base stacks, which is gonna be good for you. Same goes for these guys here. They're like fatting up a cow, basically. The more you leave these guys in the HRE and let them being small and OPM, they're gonna build their development, which is gonna serve you better in the late game when you're gonna actually have to build a tall state. Now, moving again to Scotland and England, it's gonna take you a while. It's gonna take you into the late game. At this point, you might want to go and colonize. By the standard Nordic route, you are gonna have the Tech 7, and with the colonist, you're gonna be able to move into this. Depending on the situation, Castile and Portugal might not be able to do something. Portugal might focus on Morocco, or might focus on this side here. Castile might be focused on Aragon or fighting France. Again, it's better for you to see here and see what kind of ideas they have, and at what point they are. If they have too many of, let's say that we both have like three colonists, you're gonna be fucked here. You're gonna be able to get Caribbean, so you might focus on the Northern America and get some more trade cash from this part here to go to the basically the North Sea trade node and the English Channel trade node, whatever you want to push your trade into. But yeah, this is it for the standard stuff. Now, let's talk about the optional stuff. If you're the HRE Emperor and Burgundy, actually get the Burgundy inheritance and you get those lands here, you're gonna be huge. You're gonna go to the standard stuff as Austria, start fighting France, start fighting England. You're gonna have a huge boost in your stuff. Just try to leave Sweden, Denmark and Norway. Same goes for Moscow and Novgorod. Leave them on the back burner and try to fight off England and France, simply because you don't want them to become a powerhouse, so you don't want them to unite all of their lands. So try to fight England and France so you can stop them. If this doesn't happen, just go for the standard stuff. Now let's talk about some more of those details. With the Livonian Order, it's recommended that you take this and this. Right, so this and this, so you can actually have access to Novgorod. This allows you to rival Novgorod and ally Moscow, for example. You can actually control Moscow expansion into Novgorod with this. Taking lands from Novgorod, the same as Sweden. Try to take this shitty lands here so you can actually get claims, or if you want to feed them to Finland, it's good as well. Other than this, fabricate claims, feed lands, standard stuff, however you want to pull it off. Try to go for central nodes, central regions, So basically, if you take Ladoga here, you can actually get a claim on Kilsum, on Holonest, on this thing, Novgorod, and I guess it's all Neva. You already have to take Neva. So you can actually fabricate claims on 4 provinces. So keep that in mind if you want to use Diplo points. As for Sweden, again, release Finland, take Finland's course back. This will allow you to get stuff with a free claim. You're gonna have to build claims on it, and you're gonna get the lower aggressive expansion, which is gonna be good. Like, you're gonna split the points between Diplo and enemy points as well, so that is gonna serve you well as well. As for Denmark, you're not gonna be able to release anything, although you can release Sleving here. Sorry, Holstein here. Although you're gonna probably release him as the HRE state, it's better for you if you do this. It's recommended that you actually take this land, simply because they are quite valuable to some degree. These lands have decent amount of base tax and can become one of your primary states, so that's gonna be good as well. Other than this, we have to talk about Poland and Lithuania. Poland and Lithuania, if you do not attack them, they're gonna grow big. Now, this can be a double-edged sword, although in your case, if you can stop them from being your rival, for example, or doing something of that sort, is gonna allow you to basically get an heir on their throne, and that will allow you to basically get a PO over Poland and Lithuania. You might want to avoid them. If you don't want to avoid them, try to whittle them down with the help of Moscow, basically, or the help of Austria or whatever allies. Usually I will not do this. I will just try to make sure that they do not rival me anymore, for example, or pull off some wars against them, but just make sure that I have the PO, they have the PO over Lithuania, so that I can actually get a PO over Poland and Lithuania, or the Commonwealth if it's born at that point. But yeah, do some cheeky stuff so you can actually integrate both Poland and Lithuania with the PU. It's standard stuff. It's useful as Austria, it's useful as Hungary if you want to pull it off, as Denmark, Muscovy, whatever. Actually, Muscovy might get rivals, so it's not going to be useful as well. But yeah, standard stuff with Poland if you want to pull it off. If not, just try to conquer them bit by bit. Although fighting off both Poland and Lithuania is going to be really hard. They should have about 15,000 troops together. But if you have Moldova, Mazovia, it's not that I recommend it to be honest. But yeah, this is it for the internal situation and guide. The guide part, of course, of the Teutons basically, and how you should expand with them. Pretty standard stuff. It's gonna be trench warfare to some degree. Again, pretty standard stuff. It's good that you have this thing here, like the compatibility and the discipline, which is gonna allow you to get stuff faster, to fight better, basically, not get stuff faster. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's really gonna help me out do some stuff here, grow my channel, standard stuff. I really want to hear from you, of course, in the comments. If you have recommendations, if you want me to do additions, I'll try to talk about in the comments. Let's say, tell me you didn't say talk about this and you want me to add stuff. I'll just talk about it in the comments and make sure that are at the top or add in the description, anything of the sort. So. This is the end of the situation of the Teutons. I'm Chevalier, and I've been the Feral guys. See you next time. Ciao.